We are back on Taking Care of Business on News Talk 1180 KERN, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, and now in Albuquerque, New Mexico on 1000 KKIM, and also 3 times a week on the internet. Our guest in studio, Marylee Shrider from the Right to Life of Kern County, and Monica Barksdale, a student at CSUB and also a board member, which I think is exciting. I mean, how does it feel being a board member at such a young age?
Well, I think people get a little impressed when I tell them that, but I don't feel like it's, to me, it's not a big deal. It's just, it was natural. I have a passion for life and I want to defend it, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity to do that. So
yeah, and that's a great attitude. I mean, I've been on several boards over the years, and my attitude is always, it's service, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like being, you know, if you're the president of the country, technically it's a service job. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a temp job. You're working.
When's he going to do it?
Yeah, exactly. This particular one. But it's a temp job, you know, and you're basically working as a service job. And when you're on a board, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you're privileged to service, you know, to serve people.
Who else is on your board?
We have several community members. Russell Johnson, city councilman.
Not Russell Crowe?
No, not no, not Russell. Okay. Russell Johnson is on our board. Richard Garcia is our president of our board. Maureen Beck. You want me to go down the list?
Yes.
Okay. Joel Torzon, Grace Madruga, Dr. Regina Nang, and Donna Dunham. Did I get everybody?
I think so.
Okay.
And how long has the organization been in existence?
Well, Right to Life of Kern County actually started back in 1972, right after the Roe v. Wade decision. Mm-hmm. However, this current Right to Life of Kern County is new as of about 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
Several years ago, they were struggling with personnel issues, financial issues, and Monsignor Craig Harrison of St. Francis Church kind of put the brakes on, said, okay, stop. Brought it under the auspices of St. Francis Church, and the agency went dark for a couple years, reorganized, raised funds, and then, you know, now we're 501c3 and 501c4, and I came on board about 2 years ago. So it's essentially a new Right to Life of Kern County.
You know, the great thing about the pro-life movement is it's so much stronger now than it was, you know, 20-some-odd years ago. I can remember... as you know, I've been involved in starting a couple pregnancy centers. And when I was involved in starting the one in Tehachapi, a lot of the pastors and a lot of the churches were really hesitant. Mm-hmm. You know, it was actually a bottom-up movement. It was more the people telling the pastors get involved than the pastors telling the people to get involved, with one exception, the Catholic Church. I remember going in to see the pastors. They're all hesitant, with exception of one or two. I remember going in to see Monsignor at the Catholic Church in Tehachapi, and as I'm sitting down, he goes, okay, the Knights of Columbus are going to do this. They're going to do this. Marty, can you come speak at our next service? Remember, you're talking to Catholics, not Protestants. Their attention span is only 2 minutes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Protestants are even less, huh?
No, and the funny thing is, I'm sitting there laughing inside because I haven't even handed him the packet yet, and he's run through this whole montage of what is going to happen, and that was it. The whole thing lasted 5 minutes, and they were on board. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was kind of refreshing, you know, at that time.
Right.
But thank God the pro-life movement has turned around a lot now, and there's a lot more support. And you've got some legislation that you're looking at.
Well, yes, actually we do. We were working on a piece of ultrasound legislation that would mandate pre-abortion ultrasounds in California. But since that time, Right to Life has become involved with a statewide coalition of pro-life organizations. It's very exciting. And we are working on a parental notification. We've set our ultrasound, we've kind of shelved it for the time being. Right. And we are working in tandem with many, many other organizations on parental notification legislation we hope to see on the ballot in 2016. Right to Life of Kern County will hopefully be the point where people do the signups for the ballots. And so it's pretty exciting. We're on the verge of doing some very exciting things, and the legislation is one of them.
Who's carrying your legislation?
No one at the time. We're going to have it hopefully placed on the ballot.
But you don't have a legislator that's supporting you?
Not at this time.
I could recommend a couple, and we can talk about that off the air.
Well, we have talked to some. They are kind of waiting in the wings. So, but it's certainly not I can't come out and say it right now.
Well, I think they technically have to wait until it qualifies for the ballot.
I see.
Yeah, which is...
Right. We're still in the very, very early stages, but that is the reason we've shelved ours for the time being.
Mm-hmm. And obviously there's, our local ones would be, more than happy to jump on that.
We've got some amazing local
really
elected
lucky.
officials. Right.
So if somebody wants to get involved in the signing campaign, because you have to get the signatures obviously to qualify for the ballot, who would they contact?
Well, first of all, that's a little bit in the future, but they would
not that far.
Not that far, no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. But it's Right to Life of Kern County 864-7508, or they can email me anytime, Marylee MARYLEE at rtlkc.org.
Okay, and they can also to find out more information about your event. They'd also go to that same.
Right to rtlkc.org is our website.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. One more time, slower.
I'm sorry, rtlkc.org.
That's from Marty, by the way.
And our event information and other information about who we are is on the website.
Now, our guest in studio is Marylee Shrider from the Right to Life and Monica Barksdale, a board member.
I want to ask Monica. Monica, have you got other people at the college that are now involved with your? Is it a club or a group or what is it?
Yeah. Well, I help lead a youth, kind of like a Bible study, and it's a bunch of college kids that are from CSU Bakersfield and Bakersfield College, and we just meet up and study the Bible and hang out. And so now we're working with Right to Life of Kern County to put this event on, and so that's kind of our in with all the college kids, hoping, hey, each of you in college get 10 of your friends to come to this event. So that would be how we're working with.
The college allows you to have a Bible study. Is it on campus?
It's not on campus, but they do allow that. There's a Catholic club on campus that I know of that can meet on campus. Sometimes it's a little harder. They make things harder for us than other clubs to meet, but
now, don't they have a Muslim students organization on campus?
I have no idea.
Well, CSUB I know has at least 3 Christian Bible clubs on campus, and then there's the Newman Club on top of that. Right.
So they really are turning around from where they've been.
Well, you have one club, you have to have them all. That's
right.
kind of the district policy, too, here in high schools.
So we talked a little bit about some legislation, and what was your view on the Hobby Lobby Supreme Court ruling?
Well, we supported the Hobby Lobby 100%. And the only thing that was disturbing about that ruling was how close it was, 5-4. We feel that just because a company gets to the level of a corporation, that doesn't mean they're going to check their religious beliefs at the door. And the Hobby Lobby has never made any secret about their faith beliefs, and neither has the Catholic Church or any other large faith-based corporation.
I can guarantee you one thing. If we have any resignations in the Supreme Court, that decision will be reversed.
Pretty scary to think about. That is what we were thinking about. In fact, Ruth Ginsburg said, no business, no employer should have the right to say no to contraception.
And that's basically what the other 4 people, the dissenting people, all believe in. So it is scary. And it's also another reason why 2016 is so important on a presidential level. I mean, it's very, very important. One of the things I want to talk about in our last 2 minutes is I want to go back to that ultrasound bill a little bit. Okay? Because I've had this conversation since we've talked about it with some people that I know on the other side. And it's like, okay, if you really believe in pro-choice, giving people the choice, why wouldn't you want to show an ultrasound so people can make an intelligent decision as to what they're really doing?
And that was our argument. That is our argument as well. Why would you deny them that opportunity?
Especially if you're trying to give them the choice to make a decision. Why hide something if you're trying to give them a choice?
I mean, isn't the point to give them all the information they can possibly have to make a decision that they can ultimately live with?
Yeah, to make an intelligent choice.
Right.
Yeah, Monica, you're shaking your head. You agree with that?
Yeah, I feel the same way about... I have friends that, say they're pro-choice, but they are hesitant about this kind of a thing. And it seems like, well, are you, pro-fair choice, complete informed choice, or just, hiding things for the moment so you're not scared in that moment? But I just agree. So
yeah, definitely. Okay, we've got a minute left. Tell us again about your event, the time and the date, and how people can find out more information about it.
Okay, it's Make Noise 2014 at the Nile Theater on 19th Street. It is Friday, August 29th at 6:30. Doors open at 6:30 to 10. It's going to be a high-octane night. We have speakers, we have music, we have food. Entrance is free. T-shirts are like $5, but you can get in free of charge. And it's just going to be a great, empowering night for young people who are pro-life and just want a little more encouragement.
And the phone number again?
864-7508.
Great. Okay. And thank you guys for being here. And you guys have an open invitation to come anytime you want for any event you want to talk about.
Thank you. Okay? We'll be back very soon.
Okay, definitely. Because Clay and I are big believers in the pro-life movement, so this is a biggie for us. Poor Clay's wondering what I'm going to talk about because I wanted to take the last minute and a half.
I'm reserving a rebuttal
for next week. Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit. It's kind of been an ironic week. I'm thinking about two people who died this week. One was a counselor, a man who sat in a ghetto. He was a drug addict, and he sat in a ghetto in Windsor, Ontario, had a gun in his hand, and a priest walked in and said, if you're going to keep on living like this, you might as well pull the trigger or turn your life around. And he turned his life around, became a drug counselor, therapist, and saved thousands of people. And he passed away Friday night. He was my father. And then I look at Robin Williams, a man who was in so much depression that he got to the point where, here's a man who everybody thinks has everything, yet he couldn't find anything to live for. He was so far into that depth of depression that he decided to kill himself. So I just wish somewhere along the line the two men could have met, because I think he could have made a difference in his life. But it's interesting when you look at people who fight for other people, for their lives, and yet we have so many people around us in society that for whatever reason are depressed to the point where they're just willing to throw it all away. So and that's one reason why we all need Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Is for that very reason. We will see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio News Talk 1180.